And Coach, we will start with Chris Stock from Inside the U. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, just a couple questions. Have you considered two tight end sets? Have you thought about using that a little bit more as Elijah, gains experience? And then also your thoughts on the usage of the running backs in the passing game, maybe where it's at this season. Are you happy or pleased with it? Would you like to see more or less, I guess? Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Great questions. I mean, yeah. I think we did it a decent amount last year when we had Will and Brevin. We like playing with two tight ends when we can. Elijah being young has probably played a little part of that, and just trying to have it to where he could spell Will and those guys and could stay fresh throughout the game, which I think Elijah's getting better and better each week. And so that's definitely a possibility down the stretch as we kind of learn the new identity with our guys that we got playing. And then I think at running back, I think you could always get I think they've caught the ball well. I think Cam has double-digit catches already. Obviously, Rooster's only been back for one game. So, but yeah, anybody who can make big plays for us, we'll be all open to that.
Coach, we'll go next to David Lake from 24/7. David, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you about just the second half of the Virginia game when you guys seemed to find a rhythm. It seemed like from my perspective that a lot of it was due to the offensive line kind of playing their best ball maybe we've seen this year. Would you agree with that assessment? And if so, was it just a matter of execution? Was it any adjustments you made? And do you feel like there's something to build on there moving forward in that small sample size?
Yeah, I think it's a good observation. I think obviously we definitely played much better in the second half. We really hurt our football team the first quarter and a half of that game. I think it was a combination of we really wanted to run the football early. They also came out. Virginia plays two defenses by nature. They'd really been playing their four down a lot the two games previous. They came in and pretty much played their odd drop eight robber stuff against us the whole game. Took maybe a drive or two to kind of adjust to what they were doing. But still, we didn't run the ball as well as we needed to. And I think Tyler settled down as well. So I think all those things together helped us play better in the second half. There wasn't any crazy adjustments. I mean, we made some adjustments at halftime, but nothing that was revolutionary. I just think our guys settled down. We played better. I think Tyler really, really played a lot lights out as the game went on. I thought he made a lot of plays down the stretch. And I think, to your point, our O-line, they really gave him time in the second half. We ran the ball better, especially those last couple of drives when we needed to. And, it's hard to put words on it or put a finger on it because we weren't running a lot of different run plays in the second half. We ran in the first. We were just executing them better. And hopefully that's because those guys were gelling. You got a guy like Ja'Kai, second game at center. And so hopefully those things were a sign of good things to come.
If you got a question for Coach Lashlee, please use the hand raise function on Zoom. And we'll go next to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Rhett. Hope all is well.
Hey, Manny.
Want to ask you, obviously, Ja'Kai, I guess the initial plan was to redshirt him. Now with this Corey Gaynor news, is that still something that's on the table, or is he going to play the rest of the season? And then as well as sticking with the offensive line, anything in particular, it looks like Jared Williams may have solidified the right tackle spot, which I know had been troublesome. He's like ranked third or whatever, according to the analytics among offensive tackles and his block grade. Just curious if you feel better about him there now and if there's any other spots you guys are still tweaking.
Yeah, as far as Ja'Kai goes, I mean, he was always planning to be available. He wasn't available the first couple of weeks of the season just because he was recovering from an injury. But I guess had he not had to play in 4 games, he could have redshirted. But we never kind of went into the season assuming that he was not available. So obviously losing Corey for the season, I think we always felt like Ja'Kai could be a really good center even after this season if nothing happened to Corey. And so, no, I think Ja'Kai, as long as he can stay healthy, he's our guy the rest of the way. And I think he'll get nothing but better. I think he's really a natural center. A lot of people recruited him out of high school to do that. He played guard, here as a freshman out of necessity and some last year. But I think that's probably his best position. So I think he'll get better and better as it goes on. And then, yeah, I mean, when you lose several guys for the season, you kind of go from having a lot of depth to not at the O-line. So I think, hopefully we get Justice back soon. And that'll at least give us, a sixth guy there, whether it be if we need him at guard or tackle. And so I think probably Justice and a combination of those five, are probably the guys solidifying their spots. And hopefully we get some continuity. It's hard when you can't play the same five week in, week out. And so, this will be the third game that we're able to start those guys. So hopefully that'll get us better up front.
Coach, next we'll go to Kobe Price from the Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Hey, Rhett, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Good. Wanted to kind of ask about how's Tyler kind of taking this news with Dyke, and have you seen, I guess, whether it's the maturity or the poise, just kind of realize like this is my time, this is my moment for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think Tyler's been good. I think, obviously Dyke got hurt in the Michigan State game. And so we played Tyler and Jake in the next game. And, then found out the next day Jake was then injured. So, Tyler's really done a nice job. He's a very diligent person. He's just he's very conscientious. He's going to study hard the game plan each week. He's going to be prepared. It's really important to him. I think sometimes maybe he's even too hard on himself because he wants to be perfect. But the guys have really rallied around him. I think, playing against Central Connecticut was good to get out and really play tackle football for the first time in 2 years, if you really think about it. And then, against a team like Virginia to play in a conference game, I think you just saw from the first to the second to the third, even the fourth quarter, he really grew up and, made some really big plays on those last couple drives in the fourth quarter. So he's done good. Those guys have supported him. And, I think he'll get better and better each week.
And Manny mentioned this on the radio this morning, but having the veteran guys and having that balance between, playing the young guys, having the vets, and they come into the season with certain expectations and how that may change through the course of the season. I guess how do you try to strike that balance? And I guess what do you communicate to, the more vets of, things haven't gone how we planned or how we may have wanted. And now, some of these younger guys, some of these less experienced players are going to get on the field more because X, Y, and Z.
The vets have been great with it. You got guys like Mike Harley and you got Rambo, and I guess that's really our vets at the receiver position. But even, they've really tried to raise their game in the last few weeks. They've really tried to rally around guys like Tyler and help those younger guys. And then, we're playing the young guys. We're playing Romello. We're playing Brashard. We're playing Jacoby. Keyshawn Smith is a redshirt freshman. And I think that's a good balance. I think in a perfect world, you'd have a quality balance like that. And I think the young guys will keep getting better. And hopefully that'll elevate the older guys' play as well, just because, one, they feel those younger guys coming on, but two, they also know that they can really help out a guy, a young quarterback like Tyler.
Coach, last hand up I've got for you is from Susan Miller-Degnan of the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead for Coach Lashlee.
Hey, Coach. I have two questions for you. The first one is just the challenges of playing on the road for Tyler. And the other one is now I see Ryan Risk and Peyton Matoka there's an or between their names. I want to make sure Ryan Risk is a walk-on. I just want to make sure of that. And also now they're one snap away. What have you seen individually from each of those guys, and what's the biggest challenge for each?
Yeah, I think, it's going to be a lot of firsts for Tyler as the year goes on, and he had his first game, then he had his first conference game, and now it's going to be first road game. And, there's fans this year. So even though he traveled last year, he didn't see that kind of environment very often. We'll do everything we do on a normal week. We'll simulate crowd noise and all those things like we would do for a road game. And I fully expect him to handle all that well. But, it's going to be the first time doing it. So anytime it's the first time doing something, you never know exactly what you're going to get. But I have no reason to believe he won't handle the environment and the crowd and all those things well. With regards to kind of our QB depth situation, it does say Risk or Matoka. Both those guys, now have to be ready. Yes, Ryan's a walk-on. Got a lot of confidence in him. He's really smart. He's going to be a doctor someday, and I'm probably going to be calling him asking for money or something at some point. So, I trust him from that standpoint. He's really smart. He knows what to do. He knows where to go with the ball. It gets out of his hands quick. And then a guy like Peyton Matoka is pretty athletic. He can run and make some plays with his feet. So, we're down to 3 right now, and those guys just got to be ready. And I'll just say one more thing. I know y'all didn't ask, but, with regards to Dyke, it was really hard on him because, I think we thought the day of the Michigan State game it wasn't maybe as severe, and then the next day we found out it was a pretty serious injury. And I think he's known since then. All signs pointed to it probably was going to be tough for him to come back this year, but he did everything he could to try to hold out that hope and rehab and be ready to go, and in the hopes that maybe he could. And at the end of the day, he just couldn't. And it's crushed him to have to, maybe say his college career is over. But it wasn't what he wanted. He did everything he could to try to find a way back, even after all he's been through. And, I think he's everything that's right about college football. I've said that a lot. It's unfortunate how it's happened to him. He's going to be really successful, but somebody's going to be really smart. I think it's an injury that keeps him from playing this year, but it won't keep him from being ready probably by January and February to go to, pro days or combines or, those kind of deals and show what he can do. And, he was going to be able to go to the Senior Bowl a year ago. I don't know why they wouldn't look at it now after everything he did at Houston and everything he did here for us a year ago and who he is. So somebody's going to give him a shot, and someone's not going to be disappointed.